Have you ever pondered the chilling reality of human trafficking and its global impact? It's a question that may make many of us uncomfortable, but it's a conversation we need to have. Human trafficking isn't just a plot in a Hollywood movie or a news story from a faraway land. It's a dark and sinister underworld that exists right here, right now, in our global society. Human trafficking, in its simplest terms, is modern-day slavery. It involves the use of force, fraud or coercion to exploit a person for labor, sexual servitude, or other forms of exploitation against their will. Tragically, it's a multi-billion-dollar criminal industry that denigrates human life to a mere commodity. Now, let's paint a broader picture with some alarming statistics. The United Nations reports that human trafficking affects every country in the world. It's estimated that there are over 20 million victims of trafficking globally, a number that's larger than the population of many countries. Disturbingly, a quarter of these victims are children. Women and girls make up 71% of human trafficking victims. These figures are not just numbers. They represent real people with real lives, dreams, and aspirations like you and me. They are the everyday individuals who, through various circumstances, find themselves ensnared in this horrifying web of exploitation. It's crucial to understand that human trafficking doesn't discriminate. It affects individuals regardless of age, gender, ethnicity, or socioeconomic status. It can happen in big cities, small towns, and rural areas. It's a crime that's often hidden in plain sight, making it all the more insidious. It's also important to remember that human trafficking isn't only about sexual exploitation. Many victims are forced into labor, confined to domestic servitude, or drawn into organ trafficking. The forms it can take are as diverse as they are appalling. It's a terrifying reality, but understanding it is the first step to preventing it. As we delve deeper into this topic, we'll shed light on the various tactics traffickers use to ensnare their victims and discuss how we can all play a part in preventing this heinous crime. Stay tuned as we unravel the grim realities of human trafficking. Do you know that children are often the most vulnerable victims of human trafficking? This is a truth we must face head-on. Why? Because children, with their natural curiosity and trust, can easily fall prey to the manipulations of traffickers. Children are often targeted because they are easier to control. Their innocence and lack of worldliness make them susceptible to the deceit and false promises traffickers employ. A child may be lured by the prospect of earning money after school or by an appealing ad suggesting they could become a model. The sinister creativity of traffickers knows no bounds, and that's why we should be ever vigilant. The vulnerability of children to trafficking isn't just about their innocence, though. It's also about their environments. Traffickers often target children who are socially or economically disadvantaged, those who lack a stable home environment, or those who are in the midst of personal crises. These factors can make a child more susceptible to the false hope traffickers offer. So what can we do about it? The answer lies in awareness and vigilance. As parents, guardians, and caring adults, we must be aware of the tactics used by traffickers. We must educate ourselves and our children about the dangers of human trafficking. And most importantly, we must keep communication lines open with our children. Let them know they can talk to us about anything, no matter how trivial or serious it may seem. We should also keep a close eye on our children's activities, both offline and online. Traffickers have adapted to the digital age and often use online platforms to lure their victims. It's essential to monitor your child's internet usage, be aware of who they interact with, and educate them about online safety. Remember, human trafficking is a hidden crime. It thrives in the shadows of society, preying on the most vulnerable among us, but we can shine a light on it, and in doing so, we can help protect our children. Awareness is key, and as parents, it's our duty to protect our children. Let's take that duty seriously. Let's equip ourselves with knowledge and arm our children with awareness. Together, we can make a difference. Have you ever wondered how traffickers lure their innocent victims? It's a chilling thought, but understanding their tactics is crucial to preventing such horrific situations. Let's delve into the underbelly of this sinister world. Traffickers are cunning, and they often use everyday situations to ensnare their victims. One of their most common tricks is job advertisements. They capitalize on the dreams and aspirations of young minds, promising lucrative jobs with minimal requirements. For instance, they may post ads seeking models, no experience needed, or after-school jobs perfect for animal lovers. These enticing offers mask a grim reality, drawing unsuspecting young adults into their trap. Schools, a place where children should feel safe, can unfortunately become a hunting ground for traffickers. They distribute flyers around schools, offering attractive opportunities. The promise of quick money after school hours can be tempting for many kids, making them easy targets. Moreover, traffickers are not always strangers. They could be familiar faces, exploiting the trust built over time. They may offer to mentor a child or provide them with free lessons in a skill or sport. By creating a bond, they gradually manipulate and control their victims, leading them away from their safety nets. Online platforms are not spared either. Social media, gaming sites, chat rooms, they all become tools in the hands of these culprits. They pretend to be peers, gaining the trust of their victims, and then exploit that trust to their advantage. It's important to remember that these tactics are not exclusive. Traffickers are adaptable, constantly shifting their strategies to suit the situation. They prey on vulnerabilities, exploit trust, and manipulate desires. But knowledge is power. By understanding these tactics, we're better equipped to protect our children. We can teach them to be cautious, to question too good to be true offers, and to trust their instincts when something feels off. Knowing these tricks can help us shield our children from such horrifying situations. This is a battle we must fight together, armed with awareness and vigilance. Let's not allow our children's dreams to be twisted into nightmares. How can we, as parents and guardians, prevent our children from falling prey to these traffickers? The answer lies in a combination of vigilance, communication, and education. Firstly, open lines of communication are essential. Engage with your children regularly about their day-to-day activities, friends, and experiences. Encourage them to share their feelings and concerns with you. This not only strengthens your bond, but also allows you to spot any unusual changes in their behavior or social circles that may indicate a potential threat. Secondly, it's crucial to monitor your children's activities, both offline and online. Know where your children are at all times. If they're going somewhere new or meeting someone for the first time, accompany them when possible. For younger children, this is a straightforward task. But with teenagers craving independence, it's about striking a balance between giving them freedom and ensuring their safety. This brings us to the digital world. With the advent of smartphones and social media, it's easier than ever for traffickers to reach out to potential victims. Be aware of the apps your children are using and who they're interacting with online. Parental controls can be a useful tool, but they are not a substitute for open dialogue about internet safety. Thirdly, educate your children about the reality of human trafficking. Discuss the common tricks traffickers use, like deceptive job offers or modeling opportunities. Teach them to be skeptical of too good to be true offers and to always verify information with a trusted adult. Lastly, foster a culture of mutual respect and understanding in your home. Children who feel valued and heard are less likely to seek validation from potentially dangerous sources. Remember, preventing human trafficking is not about instilling fear, but about empowering our children with the knowledge and tools they need to protect themselves. It's about teaching them to trust their instincts, to be cautious but not paranoid, and to understand that their safety is always a top priority. Our vigilance can make a world of difference in our children's safety. Can we identify potential threats and act before it's too late? As we navigate through this complex world, it's vital that we learn to spot the red flags that could indicate a child is at risk or has been approached by a trafficker. These signs may not always be obvious, but they can be the key to preventing a tragedy. One such red flag is a sudden change in behavior or mood. Has your child become withdrawn, anxious, or depressed? Have they started skipping school or falling behind in their studies? These could all be signs of emotional distress, potentially linked to an external threat. Next, we should consider their online activity. Traffickers often use social media to lure their victims. If your child has new friends you don't know, or is receiving gifts from strangers, it might be time to have a conversation about online safety and who they're interacting with. Another red flag could be an unexpected job offer. Traffickers are known for circulating flyers promising easy money for after-school jobs. They may also advertise opportunities for young aspiring models. If your child comes home with a flyer like this, it's crucial to investigate who is behind the offer. Furthermore, be aware of relationships that seem too good to be true. A new, significantly older friend or a boyfriend who lavishes your child with expensive gifts could be a trafficker trying to gain their trust. It's also important to pay attention to any unexplained absences. If your child is frequently missing or comes home late without a believable explanation, it might be a signal that something is amiss. Lastly, never ignore your intuition. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Trust your gut feeling and don't hesitate to report any suspicious activities to the authorities. Remember, it's far better to raise a false alarm than to miss a real one. Remember, your alertness can save a life. Did you know that sharing information can greatly contribute to preventing human trafficking? Knowledge, they say, is power. But the real power lies not just in knowing, but in sharing what we know. It's like a candle, it loses nothing by lighting another. When it comes to something as urgent and devastating as human trafficking, the power of shared knowledge becomes even more crucial. This is a topic many shy away from, either because it's uncomfortable or they believe it doesn't happen here. But the truth is, it happens everywhere, and silence only helps the perpetrators, not the victims. So how can we harness the power of shared knowledge to prevent human trafficking? It starts with you. Yes, you. Each one of us has a circle of influence, no matter how small. Maybe you're a teacher, a parent, a friend, a neighbor, a sibling, or simply a member of a community. You have the power to enlighten others, to open their eyes to the reality of human trafficking, and to equip them with the knowledge to prevent it. Sharing this video is a great start. It's filled with valuable information about the tricks traffickers use, the red flags to be aware of, and the preventive measures we can all take. By sharing this video, you're not just passing along information, you're potentially saving lives. But don't stop at sharing. Engage in conversations. Discuss this issue with your friends, your family, your colleagues, and your children. Encourage your local schools, community centers, and places of worship to hold informative sessions about human trafficking. Contact your local law enforcement and ask them to provide training or workshops. Use your voice, your platform, whatever it may be, to spread the word. Remember, every single person who becomes aware of the signs of human trafficking and the ways to prevent it is another ally in the fight against this heinous crime. With each person we educate, we're building a stronger, more vigilant community that can stand up against human trafficking. Together, we can create a safer world for our children. We've covered a lot today, haven't we? Now let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. We began our journey by tackling the harsh reality of human trafficking, a global issue that affects countless lives every year. We discovered that it's not something that happens somewhere else, but right here, in our own backyards. It's a chilling thought, but one that we must confront if we are to bring about change. We then delved into the particular vulnerability of children, our most precious treasures. We learned that traffickers are cunning, often lurking in the shadows, preying on innocence and exploiting trust. Our journey then took us through the dark alleyways of deception as we uncovered the common tricks used by traffickers. We discussed the seemingly innocent flyers promising after-school jobs or modeling opportunities and how these can be a trap for our young ones. We learned that traffickers are masters of manipulation, using every tool at their disposal to lure their victims. But it wasn't all doom and gloom. We also discussed practical prevention strategies, empowering ourselves with knowledge and tools to safeguard our children. We stressed the importance of open communication, constant vigilance, and the power of being present in our children's lives. We highlighted the importance of spotting red flags, of learning to trust our instincts when something just doesn't feel right. We underlined the necessity to act on our suspicions and to report any unsettling signs to the authorities. And finally, we recognized the power of sharing knowledge. The importance of spreading awareness cannot be overstated. Each one of us has a role to play in this fight. By sharing this information, we can help protect not just our own children, but children everywhere. So here's where you come in. If you found this video informative, please share it widely. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more educational content. Together, we can make a difference. Thank you for watching, and together, let's make a difference.